Sandbox MMA fans, it's UFC Fight Night Paris this weekend. Can't wait. The card is absolutely stacked. It's featuring Hanato Money Moicano versus Benoit Saint Denis in the main event. We have a sick co-main event. The card top to bottom is absolutely awesome. And let's just go into it and break it down right now. I'm going to give you my pick and predictions for all the fights on the card. My overall record is 234 and 143, trying to bounce back after that terrible night of predictions for the Sphere. Mexican fighters disappointed. A lot of people did bad that night. Is what it is. Time to turn the ship around, and we're going to start with Balajiaki versus Chris Duncan. I'm going Balajiaki. I think this is a very evenly matched fight. I don't know that I'm putting money on Balajiaki because I don't like the minus 190 line for this fight, but I do think he is the better fighter. Very crisp, technical striking. Chris Duncan has some pop, has some power. He's not terrible, but he's very slow, and Balajiaki is very fast with his technique, so I can just see him getting to the punches first against Chris Duncan and then being able to get out of the way of the big shots that Chris Duncan's trying to land. Think Balajiaki's going to win a decision. He could chin Chris Duncan here, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to go with Balajiaki to win a decision, 29-28, maybe a 30-27 sprinkled in there, but I'm going with Balajiaki, and I'm going it by decision. Just faster, more technical, going to beat Chris Duncan to the punch. Moving on to Jacqueline Cavalcanti versus Nora Cornoli. Nora Cornoli coming off a win. Jacqueline Cavalcanti coming off a win. And Jacqueline Cavalcanti fought like a month and a half ago against Josiane Nunez. I want to see exactly when it was. August 24th. So she's turning around on a month's notice. Now, she's from Portugal. The travel to France isn't crazy for her. She had a fight with Josiane Nunez that went to a split decision. So it was completely unanimous that Jacqueline Cavalcanti won that fight. Nora Cornoli, not super experienced, already 34. I just don't think there's that much time for her to continually improve. And Melissa Mullins is terrible, so she did get that win. Good on her. She also got a win over Jocelyn Edwards, which was maybe a robbery, maybe not. I don't know. I don't really remember that fight too well, but I feel like I do remember it being a little bit of a robbery. But I'm going to go with Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I like the activity. Again, she didn't take a ton of damage from Josiane Nunez. Now, Josiane Nunez did land some power shots, and Cavalcanti took him and was able to dish her own. Liked her ability to throw punches and just want to be in the exchange there. I don't think Nora Cornoli is going to knock Jacqueline Cavalcanti out. And I think Cavalcanti is going to be able to stay on the outside, chew the legs, use the jab, and then exchange in the combinations and land more and better. Might sneak a couple elbows in here. I also like her consistent improvement. I think that she improved a lot in between her fight with, let's see who her opponent was before Josiane Nunez. She improved a lot between her fights with Zara Fairn, whatever her fucking first name is, and Josiane Nunez improved a lot. I just don't think we got to see a lot of it against Josiane Nunez. And we did see a good performance, but we didn't see all the improvements because, again, when it's Josiane Nunez, you're just trying not to get hit and make sure she doesn't catch you with that big overhand. You're going to pick her apart and win the fight. And that's exactly what Jacqueline Cavalcanti did. Give me Cavalcanti by decision for a pick. Victor Altamirano versus Daniel Bairez. Daniel Bairez, I really don't think is that good. Granted, he brings the fight. Like in that first round, he's going to bring the fight, but he does tend to wear out. Victor Altamirano can go the entire 3 rounds nonstop at a high pace. And again, he's not landing crazy power, but he's throwing constantly, throwing a lot. Body kicks, tapping leg kicks, jabs, punches, spinning elbows, spinning back fists. Like just throwing a lot of different shit. And I do think his fight with Felipe Dos Santos was very close. I rate that as a pretty decent performance on Altamirano's part. Not great on Felipe Dos Santos, but Altamirano did what he had to do. I think that Altamirano is going to have the advantage here in cardio, in volume, and I think Altamirano's sneaky got a decent chin, and Bairez isn't going to catch him here. I'm going to go with Altamirano to win a decision here as well. I just think he's going to land more, and I think in rounds 2 and 3 he's really going to take over this fight and win it. So I'm going Victor Altamirano by decision. A lot of decisions to start this card. And it's not going to stop here. We're going with Aylin Perez. Love Aylin Perez. Shaking that thing for everybody all the time. For the boys. Versus Daria Zalesnikova. Now, I actually think Zalesnikova is a very good striker for the women's bantamweight division. But she can't grapple. Not defensively, not offensively, and I think that's a nightmare matchup when you're going against someone like Aylin Perez, who she's strong, She's physical. She's thick in terms of not being objectifying here. She is thick that way, but like she's also like physically strong, and she's a hard person to get off you. She's going to be able to get to the hips of Daria Zeleznikova. She's going to be able to get to the back, take her down, and I think she's just going to win this fight by dragging her all over the octagon and landing some damage. Now, the other thing is, I like that Eileen Perez, if she gets in a dominant position, she goes for it. She wants to try and beat you up. She's going to threaten with a submission. She's going to threaten with ground and pound, and I like that here in a women's MMA fight. And if you can use grappling to win a women's MMA fight, you're going to win it. And I think that Eileen Perez is going to be the perfect matchup to beat Daria Zeleznikova. Now, Daria lost her last fight to... I don't think it was that great of a fighter. Oh, no, she beat Montserrat Rendon. I'm thinking someone else. But I know Zeleznikova can't grapple. And I know Eileen Perez can. And Eileen Perez got that W on her that the judges are just going to give her the fight. They are. If it's a close decision, it's going to Eileen Perez. Because every single judge in there wants to see her post-fight twerk. That's just how it goes, dude. The UFC judges might be at the Diddy parties, is all I'm saying. But at the end of the day, the boys love Eileen Perez. I love Eileen Perez. And I think she's going to win this fight. I really do think she's just going to get it to the ground and get the win. So I'm going with Eileen Perez to win. And I think she's actually going to get a finish here. I'm going to go with Eileen Perez round 2 finish. I'm going with ground and pound. I think she's going to get to mount and start throwing like Donkey Kong hammer fist. So Eileen Perez, TKO round 2. Taylor Lapilus versus Vince Morales. Now, Vince Morales has gotten so much better since his last stint with the UFC, coming off a bunch of wins on the regional scene, which I really, really like to see. But I'm going to go with Taylor Lapilus here. I think Taylor Lapilus is just the better fighter. He fights long, he fights rangy, and he doesn't fight to put you out. He fights to win the decision, and I think he's going to win this decision here. I think he's going to be able to beat up the legs of Vince Morales. We've seen the legs of Vince Morales get beat up by, I don't think it was Jonathan Martinez. The guy's had a ton of fights since being cut. Beat Hunter Azure, that's a good fight. It's a good win on the regional scene. He got his legs chewed. I think it was Miles Johns, maybe. It was J-Mart. It was 100% J-Mart. So J-Mart chewed his legs. Gutierrez chewed his legs. People can chew this guy's legs. And I guess on the regional scene, he's done a little bit of a better job addressing that. But Taylor Lapilus is going to be a southpaw. It's going to be hard for him to defend those. He's going to be hiding them very well. He's going to land kicks to the body. He's going to throw punches up top. I think he's just going to win a pitter-patter decision against Vince Morales. I think Vince Morales is going to have a hard time finding these shots. And Taylor Lapilus has the reach of someone that's like 6'1", and he's 5'6". So I think he's just going to be able to stay on the outside and just pick apart Vince Morales. Now, kind of want Vince Morales to win this fight, I'm not going to lie. I don't like Taylor Lapilus' fight style. I don't like William Gomi's fight style, which we're going to see a little bit later on. But I do think Lapilus is going to win this, and I think it's going to be a decision. So I'm going Lapilus by decision. Ludovic Klein, we are put in another position where Ludovic Klein doesn't get a test, and I know what we're thinking, hey, but Roosevelt Roberts took it on short notice. The other fighter that that had to pull out of the fight, that was Nicholas Mota, which is same level as Roosevelt Roberts. So again, I don't know why the UFC is not giving Ludovic Klein these tests. He just battered Thiago Moises for rounds. He knocked out AJ Cunningham super easy. Like, he's beating people up. Why are we not seeing him get this jump up in the, like, close to the rankings at lightweight? Dude, he's a really good fighter, and I think he's lightweight rankings material. I'm going to be honest. I think he's lightweight rankings material. So he's going to go out there. He's going to get a first-round knockout on Roosevelt Roberts, who's just not on his level. And I get it. There's a height advantage, but the reach is not a disadvantage. You have another guy here who's very close to that reach of Taylor Lapilus off by a half inch, and he's an inch taller. So I'm going to go with Ludovic Klein. I think his kicks are great. I think his striking's great. He's a hard guy to take down, and I think he's just going to find the chin of Roosevelt Roberts. He might land a spin kick like Ignacio Bahamondes did. So I'm going round 1, KO, Roosevelt Roberts. Time to put on a performance. Time to make a big call out to like a Bobby Green or something like that. You got to fight one of these guys just outside the rankings. And I know that it's not on Ludovic Klein to pick all these opponents. The UFC's got to do a better job matchmaking this guy because he's a really good fighter and he is getting layup after layup. Moises wasn't a layup, but he proved that he's well above this Mota Roberts level. We know he is. Give him a real fucking test, dude. It's annoying. Anyway, Ludovic Klein, first round knockout. Let's go. On to the next fight. Umar Sy versus Dawoon Jung. I actually don't hate Dawoon Jung. I think his style is fun. He likes to go in there and fight with you. He got to round 3 with Carlos Olberg before he got finished, which I think was very impressive. I believe he overperformed a little bit on that one. Umar Sy looks like a really, really good grappler. Not much in the striking department that we've seen thus far, but I do think Dawoon Jung has a little bit of a difficulty with getting up when the fight's on the ground. Now, we'll see. Umar Sy is very, very good at getting it to the ground, but I think Dawoon Jung's takedown defense is a little, I want to say underrated because it's not the best, but it's not the worst. It's not going to be, like, the first 2 takedowns aren't going to come super easy for Umar Sy. I think he is going to just be poised, stay on the outside, and wait for his shot, wait for Dawoon Jung to overswing, and then just get to the hips, get the takedown. And I do think once it gets to the ground, this fight's going to end rather quickly. I'm going to go with a round 2 sub, though. I think it does get to the ground in round 1, and I think we see the holes in Dawoon Jung's game. And I think Umar Sy goes to his corner, and his corner tells him, listen, this guy is no match for you on the ground. Get it there, get the back, get the rear naked choke, and let's go home and celebrate. So I think we're going to go Umar Sy by round 2 submission here. I'm going to go rear naked choke. I think that's what he pulls off here. But Dawoon Jung at plus 375 in this fight with a completely unproven Umar Sy, live dog. Just going to say it, live dog. We move on. I think I have picked favorites in every fight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, dude, favorites in every fight. All right, no fun, except that changes here because I'm going with the slight underdog of Ivan Arslan. I think he's good. I actually think Ivan Arslan's good. I like his ability to be 14-3 before coming into the UFC. He has some losses, so he knows what it's like to come back and be better, and he has come back and been better. Ion Kudalaba is a guy that's going to, I mean, he should have been in my gladiator rankings, honestly, because he is a legit gladiator. He's kill or be killed. And I think he's got a lot of pop in that first round. And he showed me that he has the ability to go 3 rounds like when he did with Felipe Lins last time. And Felipe Lins was the one that tired out. But I'm going with Ivan Arslan. I think he's going to be able to crack Ion Kudalaba a couple of times. I think he's going to actually be able to finish this fight. I'm going round 2, Ivan Arslan by knockout. I like Ivan Arslan's pop. I like him coming into the UFC here. And I like the fact, and it's weird to say, dude, I like the fact when we go to his record here, he's lost by a knockout, he's lost by a sub. Kudalaba's not subbing him. So let's go to the knockout area. This guy's also kill or be killed here, and it's in the first round, and they're going to exchange, and, like, dude, he has some decent comp on his record, and look at this guy. Like, I get it, we're looking at a guy that's been going 500, what are we talking about here? But he had a loss, came back, goes on a win streak here, just knocking people out in the first round. And KSW is, like, solid promotion. FNC kind of sucks, but KSW solid. He goes in there, he loses rear naked choke, then gets 3 knockouts in a row, loses a decision, gets a knockout, loses a knockout, gets a knockout. So he's like learned from these losses. I think he's going to have learned from these losses and come out strong against Ion Kudalaba. I'm going with Ivan Arslan. I'm going with knockout. And I think he's going to make it to round 2. I'm going round 2. Nah, fuck it. Round 1 KO, Ivan Arslan. Let's go. Another underdog, Matt Frivola, slight underdog, but I have no idea why he is an underdog. I think he's the much better fighter than Fares Ziam here. I actually think Fares Ziam sucks. I think he's this tall, lanky, point-fighting range striker that is not impressive, barely scrapes by in fights, barely beat Claudio Poyes, beat Jai Herbert in the most boring fight of all time, beat Michael Figlak, but these are not good names. He got ragdolled and subbed by Terrence McKinney. He majority decisioned Luigi Vendramini. Like, this guy is not good. He's in the UFC, so he's good. But, like, dude, he's not going to beat Matt Frivola. Matt Frivola's got pop in his shots. He's going to bring the fight to you, so it's going to be very hard for Fares Ziam to point fight this guy. And I also think that the grappling edge is to Matt Frivola as well. I think he can get to the hips of Fares Ziam and take him down whenever he wants. And I think he will do that. I think we're going to see a Matt Frivola ground and pound KO, and I think it's coming in round 2. I think you're going to see Frivola land some big shots on the feet. Fares Ziam's going to land some teeps that Frivola's going to go, okay, I don't really like being at range with this guy. He's going to get on the inside, get to the hips, get the takedown, start landing ground and pound. Round 2's coming on. He's shooting for the legs immediately, gets the takedown, and he's ground and pound finishing. Matt Frivola is one of those guys that when he shoots, He's going for the big slam takedown, so it's exciting, but he's also not going to just hold on to you under the ground. He is going to advance position and try and land ground and pound and get you out of there. So I'm going with Matt Frevola to win this fight, and I think he's going to get it done by TKO via ground and pound in round 2. Matt Frevola is the pick. Great bet at plus 105. Underdog money on this fight. Great bet. Morgan Charrier versus Gabriel Miranda. I think Morgan Charrier is actually pretty good. 19-10 doesn't really show that, but I actually think he's pretty good. He's 28 years old. Like him being this young and having this many fights on his record. And he went to a split decision with Chepe Mariscal that he arguably could have won. So I think Morgan Charrier is a very good fighter. I think Gabriel Miranda is old and kind of mid. Who did he knock out? He knocked out someone that everyone's beaten. Shane Young, maybe? Shane Young. And he got knocked out by BSD. So, this guy's... I don't know, dude. I think Gabriel Miranda's going to get fucking in this fight, if I'm being real. I'm going with a KO for Morgan Charrier. I think he's going to get it done in round 1, round 2. I'm going round 2 KO Morgan Charrier. It stays on the feet, beats up the legs all of round 1, and it starts opening those strikes upstairs. And he lands a big punch that sits Miranda down, and he just lands the TKO ground and pound punches. Brian Battle versus Kevin Jousset. This is a sick fight. Really good fight. 2 welterweights that are hopefully going to be ranked at some point in their career. Maybe not Jousset, and that gives you the hint that I'm going with Brian Battle. I really think Brian Battle's very good. Now, Kevin Jousset's a very good striker. City kickboxing style, stays on the outsides, going to kick your legs, put the jab out there, occasionally throw the 2 behind it, kick your body, kick your legs. He's going to mix things up pretty well in the kickboxing. But I think Brian Battle can make it dirtier. I think he can get in on the inside. I think he can land his own shots. He's got the bigger reach, too. He's got a great pop in his jab. He also has a great high kick, which we've seen. He threw the 2 in high kick and knocked out someone. I don't remember who, but it was a great performance. And then he was also tuning up Angelusa before Angelusa decided he wanted to quit and then magically be able to see again. Bullshit from Angelusa. Pussy, not a warrior. F-tier warrior. Yeah, I'm going with Brian Battle to win this fight because I also think he's going to have the grappling advantage as well. I think he's going to be able to, at times, take Kevin Jousset down to secure rounds. I'm going with Battle, and I think he's going to win a decision. Really like Brian Battle, man. I think he's I think he's soon to be a ranked welterweight. I'm just going to say it right now. Brian Battle will be in the rankings at some point in his career. It starts with this win over Kevin Jousset. Like Brian Battle a lot. I think he's just going to be able to win this fight, mixing in takedowns and hanging with him on the feet. So Brian Battle decision's the pick. Joe Anderson Brito versus William Gomez. I'm a huge Joe Anderson Brito fan. I believe in Joe Anderson Brito, and he is going to knock out William Gomez. Now, William Gomez is this guy that likes to stay on the outside and Taylor Lapulus you, but he does it in more of a soft, bitchy way, which is crazy to say that someone fights more bitchy than Taylor Lapulus. But William Gomez literally just taps legs and uses jabs. That's it. No popping his shots, no fight-ending intentions, no true, finishing ability here. Don't like it. I don't like it. And when you're going against a guy like Joe Anderson Brito who is going to bring the fight to you, it is hard to keep the fight at range when Joe Anderson Brito is bringing the fight to you. I think Brito is going to knock him out in that first round, landing a massive overhand, timing one of those shitty low kicks from William Gomez. I think the right overhand is coming from Brito, and he is going to leave Gomez stiff on the canvas. Knockout, Joe Anderson Brito, round 1. Simple as that. He's a dog. Let's get this guy a ranked contender, please. No idea why he's fighting William Gomez. He just had a sick performance against Jack Shore, who's a bantamweight, but he's decent in terms of skill. Get this guy in the rankings, man. Brito deserves it. We move on. It's Brito by knockout. That's the pick. You should have known that before the video even started. Nasruddin Imavov versus Brendan Allen. This is a tricky fight. Very tricky fight. I am going to go with Imavov, though. I think 3 rounds is a very, very good thing for Nasruddin Imavov. I do think Brendan Allen's a great fighter, and I think he instinctively can find a way to shoot a takedown and get to the back, but I don't think Nasruddin Imavov is one to give up the back. He's not. And I don't think he's going to be easy to take down. Brendan Allen could get to the back and hold him against the fence and just try and knee the thigh, but I think there's going to be enough moments where Imavov is going to be able to empty the tank when they're on the feet and just outstrike Brendan Allen. He's a much better striker than Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen's not terrible in the striking department. He holds up. But his grappling is really what wins him fights and what edges out fights for him. And I really think Nasruddin Imavov is going to be able to land a couple of pullback counters, going to be able to land some good combinations. Teeps to the body are going to be huge here. But I don't think he's going to throw a lot of them. I think he's going to throw them very selectively, knowing that Brendan Allen can grab his leg and get a takedown. But I do think Nasruddin Imavov is going to win this fight. And I think he's actually going to chin Brendan Allen. I'm going with a round 3 KO. Nasruddin Imavov is going to knock out Brendan Allen. I think it's going to... Round 2. I think round 2 he's going to find the chin and knock out Brendan Allen, maybe at the back end of round 2. But I just think his striking is going to be superior to Brendan Allen's. And I like Brendan Allen, man. I think he's a really good fighter. But this is a super, super hard matchup for him. It's also a super hard matchup for Nasruddin Imavov. But I think Imavov's striking is a little bit more slick. I think he's fought tougher competition and comes out on top. He stood in there and he struck with Jared Cannonier. Questionable stoppage, but he did strike with Jared Cannonier. I would reckon that Brendan Allen would need to use his grappling. We're not going to talk about the Chris Curtis fights because I just think Chris Curtis is a really tough matchup for Brendan Allen, and Brendan Allen did end up winning the fight correctly, I believe. But we're going with Imavov. I'm going round 2 KO. I think he's that good, and I think he's going to be a future title challenger. Maybe not the winner, but title challenger. We move on. Renato Money Moicano versus Benoit Saint-Denis. It's Moicano. I'm telling you, Moicano's going to win this fight. He's winning the fight. Round 4 TKO, round 4 submission, something like that. Round 4 finish for Renato Money Moicano. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. Benoit Saint-Denis started MMA in 2019. Money Moicano started it like 8-9 years before that. Experience goes to Moicano. Now, aggression, power, 100% goes to Benoit Saint-Denis. Benoit Saint-Denis is a killer. But I think, and his grappling's great, but I think Moicano's grappling's so much better. I do. I think he has some of the best top pressure in the position, maybe in the division. I think his top pressure is better than anyone in the division other than Islam Makhachev. I can't think of anyone else. Maybe Arman Sarukian? Charles Oliveira is great off his back, and his top pressure is good, but Moicano literally floats on people. He does. Watch his fight with Jalen Turner, and I get it, Jalen Turner's not the best, but, like, dude, he floats on Drew Dober, same thing. Like, he just floats on top of people. And Benoit Saint-Denis can be taken down. We've seen it from Favola. Favola took him down twice. Moises had moments where he was getting to the hips. I think that Benoit Saint-Denis stands with his hips so square, and he does love to blast that body kick. And I think Moicano knows that. And I think he's going to be able to time those kicks, get to the hips, get the takedowns, and not give up top position. Favola was giving up his top position on Benoit Saint-Denis because he was trying to advance too fast, and Saint-Denis was able to get to a hip and shrimp out. Moicano is okay with sitting there waiting for the perfect moment to advance position, and he does it. The way this guy is able to slide from full guard to mount is insane, and he goes for finishes when he gets to dominant position, and that's big. That's how you win fights. That's how you win fights against control time, because there's going to be moments where it's control. It's not going to beat the damage. Moicano went to mount. He's landing 25 punches a ground and pound right now. That's good damage. He's going for submissions. That's good fight-ending IQ. So it's just, I think Moicano has that, and I think Benoit Saint-Denis is a murderer, but I think this is a super tough fight for him. A lot of people out there are picking Benoit Saint-Denis, and they're picking him easy. They're saying he's stronger than Moicano, he's tougher than Moicano, but you know what he doesn't have? The experience of Moicano. Yes, Benoit Saint-Denis' grappling's very good. Renato Moicano's is better. I'm telling you right now, Renato Moicano's grappling is better. Benoit Saint-Denis is super open coming in as well. Now, I don't know that Moicano's putting Benoit Saint-Denis out cold on the feet, but I think he's going to be able to land a couple of shots, tag Benoit Saint-Denis a couple of times and make him wobble a little bit. And I think Moicano does a good job of throwing straight punches when Benoit Saint-Denis is blitzing in, and Benoit Saint-Denis runs right in and just, his chin's right on the line, and he sprints right at you, just nonstop throw. And he's just walking towards you, and I think as he's doing that stuff, throwing punches as he's walking towards Moicano, his hips are super square doing that. Moicano's going to be able to go, drop double leg. The instinctive double legs are fucking awesome. Don't mind him getting knocked down by Jalen Turner in the corner here, but look at who Moicano's fought, because he got to the top 5 at featherweight, and people forget that. They really do. 10-1 in the submission game, so BSD is not subbing him. He's gotten knocked out before, and he doesn't really knock people out the same, but he'll win decisions. He got a TK. Wow, his only one came last time. He's getting better at 35. Jalen Turner, that's a ranked impressive win. Drew Dober, impressive win. Brad Riddell, impressive win. RDA, he took that fight on 4 days' notice for a 5-round fight, and he made it to 5 rounds with RDA. He was drinking beer and eating steaks in Brazil, my brother. We also got Alex Hernandez, decent win. Jai Herbert, meh, decent win. Rafael Fiziev, he got knocked out, I get it, but it's Fiziev. Like, he's fighting these levels of competition. Hadzovic, Chang Sun Jung, he lost to the Zombie. Got KO'd by Aldo, but, like, look at the level of competition he's fighting. Ortega got subbed, but he was beating up Ortega in that fight until Ortega just did his fucking thing. Cub Swanson, he subbed. Jeremy Stevens, he decisioned. Zubaira, he's just, like, dude, these are really... Ishmael Bonfim. Holy shit, I didn't even know that was on his resume. But, dude, like, Renato Moicano's fought a ton of competition, the best of the best. He's fought GOATs. He's fought Jose Aldo. This guy's a monster. I'm going with Renato Moicano, and I'm going with him to win this fight by a 4th-round finish, and I think he actually have better cardio than Benoit Saint-Denis. I know Benoit Saint-Denis gassed out because of staph infection against Dustin Poirier, but he was getting tagged anyway. And everyone talks about, oh, his gas tank's really, really good. We haven't actually seen him make it a full 5 rounds. We haven't seen him make it in round 4. I'm not willing to just say that because he does find ways to win this like a 3-round decision. So I'm going with Renato Money Moicano to win this fight. Let's go. 4th-round finish. We're Team Moicano this weekend. I'm going to Penn State this weekend, so I'm going to be pissed drunk watching these fights. Going to have to come back Sunday. You're not going to see the reactions video because I will still be out. But on Monday, I'll be back doing the reactions. I'm going to rewatch all the fights again on Sunday just to make sure I didn't miss anything while I was shithoused watching them on Saturday. And I'll get you guys those reactions. We're going to do reactions on Monday, matchmaking on Monday. We got a couple other stuff coming out, especially next week. Hope you guys have enjoyed the videos recently, and if you did, please like and subscribe.